Hello and welcome back. This is David from the Personal Finance Squad. We are in creating the budget for our course project and we are into exercise 1. So what you need to do is to go in and look at your checks and format it to the proper setup. So we can see that we have weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or fluctuating. So things to keep in mind are with weekly, you will have 4 checks per month. And that's what you're going to live off of. However, there will be 4 months with a 5th check. So these 4 extra checks are the bonus checks that we've talked about, creating that extra income for yourself. Because just remember, you've living off 4 checks right here, right? Which is really 8 of 12 months. So over here, you're just going to live off 4 checks anyway. So if you can do it 8 out of 12, you can do it for another 4 of 12. If you're bi-weekly, and that's the sample we used in the book with Jasper, you know that you're going to have 10 of 12 months and 2 of 12 months. So you'll have 2 checks here and you'll have 3 checks. So that's for bi-weekly. Then we get into monthly and fluctuating. So we know that with those you're going to have to be a little more creative with them. And there are references to that in the chapter. So go back and look if you want a little more detailed explanation. So if you are monthly, you can look at the examples there and figure out that you can create money every month rather than bi-weekly, or like 2 of the 12 months, or the 4 extra checks. Here you're going to have to say, this is my total amount and then you can decide, you know, a number, a monthly number to put aside. And you would put that into the supplemental account. So that's a little different format, but it still provides you the money because you are going to live off the money you lived off anyway. So if you were getting paid in one of these scenarios, you would still be performing the exercise to create the bonus checks. Over here, you're just going to have to pull some money out to make it happen. It's a little more work. In terms of a fluctuating payment schedule, we talked about that you're going to have to take the minimum amount that you know that you're going to earn. So let's just say you're somebody who is a bartender. Let's say you make $8 an hour. So you know that $8 an hour times, let's say 30, would be $240 as an example per week. So that's the minimal. And then you're going to have to look back at probably 3 months, 3 to 6 months, depending how long you've been in the industry for what you do. You'll know the kind of tips that you bring in, and then establish a base amount. So what you're really creating here, you're creating the minimum amount of income to live on. Okay, so those are the 4 pieces that we've talked about. This is a really short exercise, and a lot of times these are. We want to have these broken up so that it's not overloading and you can build this as you go, because budgets do take a little time to perform, and there's a lot of material that we have been reviewing or you have already reviewed and taking this part of the course, because that means you've actually went into 10 chapters worth of information. So again, whatever path you're taking here, this is the first step, and you will refer again as we're going through these exercises through the budget sheet example, which becomes your template, becomes your budget, and you will find in that income column in there that you need to input that in there once you figure all of this out. So we will get into the next section, which is creating the budget. So this is where we get into showing the pieces in here that we're going to build out, and there's going to be exercises for every piece on here that we go through in the next section. For all these items in here, you're going to have to go figure these out, but these will be in subsequent exercises. Here's just the layout. Okay, so that's going to do it for this section, and in the next section, we are going to go into creating the budget, which means you're going to start filling out all the areas of where you have expenses. We're going to run through common expenses that everyone should have and put them in your budget in the proper format. Okay, so that's going to wrap this up. We thank you for joining, and we will see you in exercise number 2.